Hi everyone, I'm Elisa Corey. I come from Rambi Island and I'm here for this 2 days workshop.
Do you want to be a decision maker at what level or where?
Of course I want to be a decision maker. I think that is the main reason why women form this Fiji Young Women's Movement, because of decision making in all levels, especially first of all, we are decision makers at home. So I think we are born decision makers as mothers in our own homes. So of course, I would like to be a decision maker at all levels. Within our community, right now I'm one of the decision makers in my community, within our young women's movement. And in future, I would want to extend it into national level.
So how was your experience of voting last year?
To be really honest, it's confusing. I was confused, yes.
In what way?
Okay, confusing in so many ways. It's because I'm talking on the perspective of where I come from, which is Rambi Island. And when voting was held on the island, we actually did not have any manifesto. Actually, at the last very minute of elections, they are voting. They just, whoever the campaigners were on the island, just came up to us, and then they just sort of circulated it within the last minute. And then we have no idea who is this person we are voting. First of all, we have never met that person whom we ticked his name or voted him. We have never met that person. We have never read his or her manifesto. Actually, there must be some campaign going on the island, but it was never diverse. It was never to all families. It was just to a few people. It never covered the whole island. So that is why some of us whom were not, their campaigns never reached us. That is what made us so confused, because we do not know what we are ticking for, because we did not see the manifestos of those people who we are voting for. That was the main reason, and I guess that was from my district. There were so many of us with that same problem. So in future, if there would be an election in future, I would like the government to actually thoroughly go to every home and explain to them their manifestos or whatever they are, so that we do not just go there, okay, we have to vote because we are citizens, you have to go and tick. Okay, fine, but first of all, who are we going to tick? Who is coming to educate us first on on whom to vote for, So that's the problem.
So as parliament mates, what do you want them to do?
Speaking again from where I come from and our issues, I think this government should focus on poverty areas. We've seen a lot of help with this government in terms of free education, which covers the need of education, and many other infrastructure and many other things. But the main issue that we face now in from our island is the poverty level. So many school dropouts, so many young women, early pregnancy. The problem with our women is that they are 100% dependent on their husband. So the problem is poverty on our island. Not actually poverty, but it's sort of like a weakness with our women, because they cannot be, they're always dependent on their husbands. The women on our island is like, if your husband is sort of like rich, or he is, spontaneous, like he's a hardworking person, okay, you as a lady, you should be very lucky. You have an abundance, you are very, you can afford, your husband is providing a lot. Okay, it depends. If your husband is sort of like lazy, that woman, or whoever the wife is, poverty. So what we were trying to think is, I mean, if the government could concentrate in terms of income generating projects to these young people, you know, to decrease the number of poverty, concentrating more on rural areas. Yes. Another thing is lack of scholarships, because there's so many young women in my community who are very educated, but they do not have enough funds to further their education. So they are now sitting down with a lot of potential in the island, but they cannot further their education.
What are your 3 national budget priorities?
Health is one, very important for us, is because we have 4 villages in our island, and there's only 1 hospital, and we have seen so many cases of sick people pronounced dead on arrival because of the very distance. They travel a long way in order to reach the hospital. So if the government could help in building a dispensary or for young women, for their children, and also for the sick, if they could also have it in the most farthest village on the island, and that would also, decrease the amount of, deaths. The other 2 will be education in tertiary level, as what I mentioned earlier, in order to increase the amount of young people on the island or all over Fiji who are at home, and free education from primary and secondary level. But the problem is for tertiary level, I think that's the problem, because for tertiary level, that is where it lays the problem of unemployment, because nowadays you need to be qualified. They are not looking at primary or secondary level qualifications. You have to have a tertiary qualification, but tertiary lack of tertiary scholarship is what's lacking in the government right now. So I think they should increase it more.
So you got health, education, and what would you be?
Infrastructure will be the 3rd one, because depending on where I come from too, there's lots of road problems on our island. Our students, when traveling by school buses, there's a lot of cases of vehicles tumbling due to bad weather. Actually, our road is not tar sealed, it's gravel all throughout. So that is the main problem now with our roads on the island. I think that government should also come down and visit and have a look for themselves of the way our road conditions are.
My name is Leko. I came from the province of Fra.
Do you want to be a decision maker, and at what level and where?
Yes, I want to be a decision maker, and where I just want to take place in my fellow friend in the village.
What was your voting experience in 2014?
My voting experience in 2014, it was very good. Show me that everything that I learned from one booklet that Fijian women give it, I learned a lot of things from there.
What do you want your next voting experience in 2018 to be like?
To be very good and very simple for other friends. They don't know how to vote, and just show them what to do for voting in 2018.
So as Parliament meets, what would you want them to do?
I just want them to have the need of the people.
What are your 3 national budget priorities?
Me bukangan na mamilanga na rural area. Patake setabi na rangangan taleso.
Hi Shana, my name is Mary Randitar and I'm representing Psychiatric Survivor Association under the affiliated with Fiji Disabled People's Federation.
Do you want to be a decision maker, and at what level or where?
Yes, at my place to become an advocate with persons, with young women with disabilities in other communities.
Okay, thank you. What was your experience for voting in 2014?
I was excited because it's the first time for me to vote, and also I was a polling day worker, PD polling day worker at the station in Randawa. St. John Bosco School. I was working there and see persons living with disability. And they come in, they vote as they are at the back of the line. And normal people should think and be aware of persons living with disability. They should care of them, and they should, help them and put them in front while they leave them aside.
So what would you say you would want to experience in the next elections in 2018?
To be more young women in the age of 18 and above, to participating in voting and elections, and to be choosing their right whom they want to vote.
So as Parliament meets, what do you want them to do?
Our young women's voices should be heard if we raise our concerns, as well as persons living with disabilities, young women, like accessibility, and as well as in the community. More young women living with disability, they need employment. And now they are left it aside, more on education too, as well as educations.
What are your top 3 national budget priorities?
Point number 1 is education, point 2 is employment, and point 3 is for all persons living with disabilities surrounding Fiji. If the government can look into most of them, they're not yet taking the family assistance, as well as the free bus fares. Other things that the government have been given free for them. If most of them are getting older, if they can be given free form of the free medical form from the Ministry of Health, if when they go for checkups, they can be given free tablet, or if they can be given available free forms, so they can fill out, and for free medicine, a tablet for them.
Okay.
So my name is Nikki Wali, and I work with FemLINKPACIFIc, and I'm also represented here through at the Fiji Young Women's Forum from the House of Chameleon. House of Chameleon is a trans youth-led feminist organization, basically working around transgender women's issues, mainstreamed. And also I'm here in my capacity as the Public Relations Officer for the National Youth Council of Fiji.
Do you want to be a decision maker, and at what level?
Quite a very interesting question at this critical time of such development and processes taking place. In my honest opinion and optimistic hope, I feel that as a young trans person, I think it's very fundamental that we, not just me, but every young person is given the opportunity, the platform, and the safe space to participate. I would like to be a decision maker, absolutely. I think it's who wouldn't resist being a decision maker? Everyone wants to be decision making, bodies and authorities.